This is the Gatekeepers Podcast with Billy Grove. Billy is an innovative leader in the industry and loves teaching how to build quality fence. So sit down, grab a cold beverage, and get ready to talk about fence. Today's show is sponsored by Mr. Fence Academy. If you're looking to hit the next level in your fence company, check out Mr. Fence Academy. And now, live from the Mr. Fence Academy studios, here's your host, Billy Grove.
What is going on, everybody? How's everybody doing on this wonderful Tuesday night?
What is going on, fence family and friends all around?
Facebook, YouTube, all of that. How are you doing today, buddy?
I am exhausted.
Yeah, same here.
I'm great,
same
man.
here.
I had my 10-week orthopedic appointment checkup this morning. That was fun. All my x-rays and stuff show straight, so I'm good to go on the leg stuff. Past that, man, been grinding, dude, and been making sales.
Selling, baby.
Fucking grabbing checks, making deposits, make stuff happen.
Heck yeah, man. I love it, dude. How was your weekend?
I worked.
Yeah.
I had the kids up here at the office to help me band up pallets just because I had to get them out the house to do something, and Mama was sleeping, so I was like, fuck it. So we went up to the office for a few hours, camp here, cleaned up, and then it was just kind of a chill weekend. Pass out.
Nice, man.
How about yourself, man? What'd you do?
Went to breakfast on Saturday, and then went and finished out something else, or like a little small project that we had still like hanging open from Friday, and then got home, chilled. Sunday didn't do a damn thing.
That's bad. My Sunday was.
Yeah, I was just at the house all Sunday, so that was that. And
I'll tell you what I did Sunday that was pretty cool. What I did Sunday was pretty cool was I was with my leg, I haven't been able to do a whole lot of much, but I felt really, really good on Sunday. I was actually able to mess around in the backyard with the kids, like throwing the football back and forth, like dropping bombs on the top of the trampoline.
Nice.
That was a pretty good time. I was able to walk back and forth in the yard pretty easily this last weekend. So that was a very good part.
Heck yeah, man. That's great to hear. And I was really happy to hear what your doctor said today as well.
That's been the thing about it, because we didn't do physical therapy. Not that I didn't want to, it was just that it wasn't really an option. And here we are at 10 weeks. And he's like, yeah, you don't need physical therapy. But anyway, it's been hard because I don't know where the magical line has been of overdoing it, not doing enough. And whenever I walked into the damn doctor's appointment today, mind you, like I said, walked without crutches or canes or, walkers or nothing. And the lady's like, yeah, you're doing fine for being 8 to 10 weeks. And the doctor pretty much said the same thing. So that was cool, man. It was a good time. Awesome. I'm just glad to be every day's one day closer to being done with this stuff.
There we go. All right. Well, tonight, guys, we have on quite a bit of people. We have on some Demo Day ambassadors, so that way you can put a face to the name of everybody who is setting all this up for the Fence and Security Show in Las Vegas in September. And then we also have the one and only Mr. Brian T. Frederickson on as well, founder of the FWA and owner of Las Vegas Fence. And with that said, we're going to go ahead and bring on everybody, and we're going to introduce them one by one. Just a quick little where you're from, how long you've been in the industry, name, all that stuff. So without further ado, here we go. We're going to
get this party started.
Oh yeah, man, get this party started.
Oh, who's that guy?
Brian.
Oh,
what's going on?
I forgot my hat again.
What's going on, Mr. Frederickson? How are you, sir?
What's happening?
We got Keith.
What's happening, guys? Thanks for having me on.
Absolutely. We got Adam Sims. Boom. And then we got Mr. Chance Roy as well. So nice. We're going to just take it away the same way I brought you guys into the screen. We're going to go Brian and Colby, Keith, Adam, and then Chance. And you guys just give us a little who are you, where are you from, and then on to the next, and then we'll get on to our actual topics.
Hey, what's up, guys? Brian Fredericks here from FWA, and obviously I own Las Vegas Fence. If you follow any stuff we're doing, I got into the fence industry. I was just at Barnes and Noble, and I found a how-to book. It was about 2.5 weeks ago, and I started flipping through it, and I'm like, man, I can do this. No, it's been going on for a while since I was a kid. Probably like a lot of us. I grew up in the fence industry. Yeah, my uncle's fence companies. But obviously I founded Fence Workers Association in Las Vegas Fence. Probably about 25 years I've been doing fence in the Las Vegas area. But that's pretty much my whole background right there.
Nice. And you are sleep, eat, walk, talk fence, aren't you, man? I follow you. I'm like, dude, when do you ever sleep, man?
Yeah, I spend a lot of time doing fence. Sleep for a few hours at a time, then I get up and I start posting shit. And then I'm back to sleep for a couple hours. I eat a little bit of food, smoke a cigar or something, and I'm back at it. But I think like a lot of us, man, once it's in your blood, it's in your blood. I mean, we can love it or hate it. We can't get out. If as soon as we try to get out, we end up sleeping in our car, showering at with the homeless people at the park or something. It's the only thing I think that I've ever been successful at. And I've tried 100 million things, and it's just no matter what, I end up back at fencing. And I just decided it's just what I'm going to do. Yeah.
There we go. All right. Well, Mr. Colby, go ahead, buddy.
My name's Colby Bierman. Me and my wife own Corridor Residential Fencing in Cedar Rapids, Iowa. We've been in the industry for 4 years now. We specialize in residential. We do a little bit of commercial work as well. Yeah, we're definitely excited to be a part of this, the Demo Day Ambassador stuff.
Heck yeah. All right, Keith, take it away, sir.
My name is Keith Pace, Texarkana Fence. I've been in the fence industry for 35 years now. We've had our own company we're in our 18th year. I feel kind of old now. All these guys talking 4 and 5 years, and hey, there's nothing wrong with that. We like the new guys though. It's real easy to teach the new guys the new stuff. So, and it's easy for them to teach us, I guess.
Absolutely
is.
That's
pretty much it.
All right, Mr. Adamson, take it away, sir.
Yeah, I own Freedom Fencing of Georgia, north side of Atlanta. And last year we switched over to no dig, 100% no dig, and been kind of working our way through and making all the adjustments as the industry's been changing. So I'm excited to see what that provides at the show, as well as make sure that other areas of the industry are covered, as well as such as the ag fence side. So
yeah,
excited to be a part
Absolutely. Yeah, heck yeah, me too. All right, Mr. Camp Roy.
Hey y'all, what's up? I'm Chance with Cajun Fencing. We're out of Lafayette, Louisiana, and we've been going on almost 5 years. Almost 5 years now. Yeah, really just ready to get this conversation started.
Yeah, heck yeah. All right, well, as you all know, my name is Billy Grove. We are out of Pensacola, Florida, Lower Alabama. That's basically what it is. We've been in business for 5 years, right?
Yeah,
5 years.
5 years in.
5 years in now. We do a little bit of everything except for commercials. Not our favorite. Dabble in it.
It's gotta be the right job for us to take it on.
Yeah. But we're not completely no dig. We were, but now we don't turn away money. Like period. But 95% of our jobs are like no dig driven jobs. So that's what we do here.
I would say we were 100%. So we were 100% no dig last year, but we left so much money and clientele on the so much money on the table. And whenever some things got crazy last year, we realized like we can't just be a one trick pony and just cool. We have the no dig, but we got to do something else. So we went back to the drawing board, went back to offering no dig, but we also went back to having do the wood installs. But now I've pretty much got it fine tuned where we only did 4 or 5 wood installs. Like
I think we did. I don't even think it was 4.
And
Okay, it was like three.
I was
three.
able to navigate the sales process a little bit differently after my injury, and it made selling a driven job so much easier.
Heck yeah. All right, guys. Well, without further ado,
I'm Corey, by the way.
Corey Gentry,
Hey,
everybody.
I got a quick question. Y'all are in
Go ahead.
Pensacola. Why are y'all like wearing the warmest clothes on this? Like, I mean, it's not. Is it still hoodie weather down there?
It must be 60 degrees out.
It dropped down to 75, 72.
Yeah, y'all are cold. Yeah.
This is socks under the flip flops weather.
They still got flip flops on. And you know it.
Yeah.
I got my Hey Dudes.
I got my Hey Dudes on as well.
No, Florida's really weird. So we're having like an extended winter, and it's not. I say extended. Basically, what's going on is it's high 30s, low 40s, and early in the morning. But then by noon, it's 75.
Yeah.
So we have like a 30, 40 degree temperature drop and change every day. And so
Hey, that's
pretty much
global
dress for,
warming.
you know,
Global warming.
it's been like that. I'm born and raised here in Pensacola. It's got the same every time. Every year.
Yeah. So that's what's going on, man. It's fine in the middle of the day, but in the mornings and at nighttime, it gets a little bit cold again. So I'm like, all right, hoodie weather.
But our cold and y'all's cold is totally different.
Way different.
Because like we used to have so much humidity and moisture in the air, and it's night and day difference of cold. It really is.
Lafayette strong.
But all right, guys. So
yes, sir.
Yeah, there we go. Lafayette strong. So we're going to get into a couple of things that we're going to be talking about, and that's going to be demo days, guys. So basically what this is anything and everything basically that you can think of, from forklifts to pounders to nail guns to different manufacturers' products, is what we're trying to get set up out here. Like, Brian, what's the square footage of that out there?
It's about 20 acres. So our first plan was dividing it up and having, 20 acres. So the first part of it was dividing it up and having some of the first thing we kind of built it around was we've got the temporary fence maze. So we're gonna have a maze out of temporary panels, and those are being brought in by Z&D, I think. Still. So we're gonna build a maze out of that, and then we've got some booth space outside, so with it to be a little bit more gapped. It won't be so close together, so people can kind of go beyond there. Drag some panels or whatever they're gonna be building out there, and tools, and be able to walk around the booths rather than have one booth right next to each other. And then we're going to be doing a lot of the education training, and then we're just working really hard on everybody in the team here is working hard on it. We want to bring the tools and the equipment, be able to fire it up and listen to it, listen to the pounders and watch the pounders go in, do some testing and some competitions, and hopefully even in the ag industry, get some of their competitions out there that we're talking about. Just a whole different experience to bring some people that wouldn't maybe even have came to the show in the first place, that can now come and experience our shows because they wanted to see some of this equipment. And I think that's what we were missing for a long time, was the tools and the equipment we use every day. And we are hammering and talking to, everything from DeWalt to Milwaukee. I'm not saying that they're 100% there, but these are the people we're talking to get those tools and stuff that we use every day out there for all of us to actually try out, and some of the new equipment and some of the new tools that we wanted to see. It'll be kind of interesting. We'll kind of see how this thing comes into fruition in the end, but I think it's going to be cool. And then I know everybody else has been working hard on it.
I heard talked about a like concert stage.
Yeah, I was trying to do here's my vision when I first imagine this. I'm thinking like a country music video almost in my head. And I'm thinking an 18-wheeler with a band up there and fireworks shooting off behind it. And I'm talking about trucks with tailgates down, and we're all hanging. I mean, this is literally my vision. And then I start getting the feedback from the property, the hotel and everybody else. And apparently I can't just throw a party wherever I want in Las Vegas, and have everybody peeing in jars. They won't let me do it. But and we can't just fire up a bunch of barbecues in the middle of nowhere, things like that. But we are working with the fire department now and trying to get actually some CPR training and get the fire trucks out there and do some stuff that we can bring that kind of liven some of that up. So I think it's going to be interesting. It's still being developed as we do it, as we go.
Didn't Master Halco just have a private Keith Urban concert in Las Vegas?
Yeah. I know.
Yeah.
I'm just a little bit shy of the Master
Yeah.
Helco budget.
I heard you booked Kid Rock already, Brian. What the hell?
Yeah. I got a bunch of people booked. I just don't know if they're going to show up. In spirit.
Mr.
I think they're
Brian,
going to be there in spirit. Maybe on the next one, once we show this one was such a success. I know, and even like Sean King was talking about, well, we need a crane to lift people out of the maze if they get lost. And I'm like, I'm like, Sean, quit telling people we're going to do that stuff. I said, I don't know if I can get approval from our insurance company to lift people out of the maze with a harness. So I said, so there's some stuff that we can do, but I keep getting slapped on the wrist saying, no, you can't do that. No, you can't do that. But it's going to be cool.
Man, one thing I enjoyed. Go ahead, Keith.
I was just thinking random catapults in the maze. I mean, you can't get out. You just sit down in the catapult and it just fling you out.
Right, yeah.
I don't know how that would go over well with the fire department and all of that. But
I wanted a fencer cannon so that we can shoot people across into something, but they're not going to let us do that. There's all kinds of stuff that they.
I thought all that stuff went on in Vegas. It was just a daily thing.
Maybe I just can't say it's going to happen. I'm just
Okay, right.
One thing
That's
I did
great.
enjoy
That's
from the
great.
AFA was how they did that live. All the podcasters went live on on Facebook and stuff. That was pretty cool.
Yeah.
I think I sat there and watched the whole thing.
Yeah.
I figure that's probably a given. I don't think we'll have trouble getting podcasters there.
Yeah, I think that we'll have more media coverage, even with us.
No.
We're going to be doing
No.
more. So, yeah, and we're going to have it more set up. Yeah, more organized when it comes to that. So we'll have everybody
Mike
hopefully
Levy
in
and cage
places.
fight.
Yeah, that's what we need. See, everybody's got an idea, right? Until I got to get it insured.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey guys, will the insurance cover this?
Right. Yeah, but that would be cool. Isn't that what they make these cages out of anyways? A little bit of chain links,
Yeah.
Absolutely. That's how they make it out of.
Oh,
Right?
axe throwing. Because you've ever been to an axe throwing place? Every single one is divided off by chain link.
Yep.
Single one.
Yeah. Every single one of them is.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah,
Even
maybe we
the-
got to get the axe throwing
Even
guys
the
out
mobile
there.
unit, even the mobile unit you see driving around town.
Yeah.
That's the chain link. But Mr. Brian, I think I don't want to hit on a different subject too much, but you're talking about having the firefighters out there and having stuff. I think having even just a basic CPR, first aid, trauma class, something of that nature could absolutely come in handy, especially as they were saying for the younger crowd. A lot of younger people don't know much about, not even younger people, a lot of people in general just don't know how to take care of themselves. They get put in a situation, maybe themselves or possibly their coworkers or their teammates. And Billy and I were in a situation 10 weeks ago today that I snapped my leg in 4 places, and we had to splint that thing on a job site and get it secured and get to the hospital. And it was, if it wasn't the fact that I knew what to do in that scenario, shit, we were out in the middle of freaking nowhere.
We were in the middle of nowhere.
I think you were talking about having the firefighters. I think that was a phenomenal. Just as somebody who 10 weeks ago had their leg rebuilt, I think that's a phenomenal idea. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And there's heat
That'd be a good
exhaustion
idea,
training that we can do. What do you do when somebody's they're on a job site and they look like they're going to pass out from heat exhaustion? I mean, I don't care where you are in the country with us fencers. We all end up pushing through. We're trying to get some post set. We're waiting on this. We're doing that. And we push through, and you get somebody that just has to go sit in the truck or something. How do we recognize those signs, and things like that? How do we recognize that? So
Right.
I think that'll be kind of cool. All that stuff we're working on. So
Popsicle.
it's going to come. I think it's going to come. We'll start releasing even
Yeah.
more information as all the team, all the demo day ambassadors get together, and you'll see hopefully more and more information coming out from everybody.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I mean, I've already done my fair share of reaching out to merchants. I've seen everybody else on the WhatsApp, like group text, reaching out to different merchants, and we've got the ball rolling.
No, dude.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
I'm
you
looking
guys are
forward
pushing
to
it
it, man.
hard.
I'm looking-
You guys are pushing it hard. I know. I'm trying to keep up, trying to get information off to Sean to get off to you guys. And he's like every morning. He's like, "Hey, I need this and I need this." He's yeah.
Well, I heard you say something about the temp fence maze, and that's something that we talked about was was a fence maze. I was like, oh, heck yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
I just
Mr.
envision
Paul, what
my
did you
vision
think
doesn't
that-
always, they don't let me do it, but I envisioned having the beer in the middle of the maze and you got to get to it. And then,
Yeah.
And then get back out.
Middle of the maze. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. 3 or 4 beers, they're stuck at the bar, baby.
yeah, nobody comes out. All of a sudden you got this, but then I realized we had a
Yeah.
big bar in the middle. It would just be people stuck in there for 3 hours. So I'm like, well, we can't do that. We gotta have the exit has to be the
You
goal.
would have to have like escorts to get them out. That's funny.
That might work
All right,
against
Corey,
us.
go
you know?
ahead. You had a question?
I was just
Right.
Mike. I was going to ask you, Mr. Frederickson, man, what people who are non-ambassadors? You know, I'm thinking you guys have what?
We have 6 plus Sean.
Say 6 plus Sean. So for the non-ambassadors, or people like me, or for is anybody who's watching this, and what are some things that some non-ambassadors could do to help make this show better? I know the weight is on you and on your team and all your stuff, but for people like us who are just here, just waiting for the damn date, what are some things that we can do in the meantime to really help push for you in support of this expo show in a couple months?
Question.
Yeah. I mean, you guys want me to take that?
Tell everybody.
Okay.
Everybody.
I think, well, I mean, suggestions help us a lot, and recommendations and in relationships that you may have with somebody that you think could be a good possibility to have out in the demo days. Because what I consider a valuable tool or somebody I'd like to see in Las Vegas is completely different than somebody in Kansas or Indiana or Florida. We use different tools. You guys do a lot of no dig. I'm not even sure if just a regular pounded post is considered no dig, or if it has to be this no dig system. I don't do any of that stuff. I don't do any residential. So the tools are completely different. And the people we'd want to see, some part of the countries, they're really big on Milwaukee. Some are big on DeWalt. Some are, some want Bosch, some want this. So if you want to see more jackhammers, and if you know your local supplier that you get your tools and stuff from, if you could contact them for us and put them in touch with one of the ambassadors, that would be huge. That would be a huge, benefit for us, because we're just kind of like, we're watching our social media and we're doing shouts out. But I think I'm assuming everybody would love a suggestion. Hey, who can we reach out to? Or if you could break the ice for us, so we're not just like calling up and trying to reintroduce ourselves. That's huge for me. If there's like somebody can relay, hey, I gave your information to John, over at DeWalt, or because we all have relationships.
The more people that are putting things in their ears, the more likely
More
they
seeds
are.
planted, more stuff grows.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, I've already reached out to Bobcat. I know Colby has reached out to Bobcat as well.
Yeah.
But and a couple different other people, but like Bobcat was already like, oh yeah, man, we already know about it. It's up in the higher ups. I was like, oh sweet, okay,
Yep.
all right, let me know.
Yeah. I love it when we're walking around an expo and I stop in and somebody's like, I heard about you guys. I was, someone else just mentioned this to me earlier on today. It's like a complete icebreaker. I mean, then we can just kind of flow into a conversation where we can get more detail about, what we're doing and about demo days.
I would agree in that there's only 6-7 of us. As many as that may sound like, that's not very many to cover an entire industry and all the assets and facets that it provides. So anything that you guys want to, or that the community wants to throw at us and remind us, because we're, like you said, we're going from everything from Bobcat down to different nail guns and everything in between. It's a lot for us to consider every little aspect, and we will miss something, I'm sure, if it was just left to us. So if y'all want to reach out to any of us ambassadors, and we've got, like you said, we've got a group chat going that we're all trying to stay organized on and making sure all the bases are covered, but definitely need help in brainstorming on and making sure that we get everything covered as best as we can.
So as far as people knowing, all the ambassadors are here except for Sean, correct? for the demo days. I mean, the demo days ambassador.
I think so.
So, which I mean, he had a date now. He's
We
supposed to
mentioned
hit the
Joseph,
road
huh?
for 4 weeks.
Yeah, I think pretty much everybody's here.
We're missing.
Well,
We're
two.
missing Joseph Madison.
Okay.
Joseph Madison and
There's
Sean
one.
King. Sean has date nights, so we didn't want to get in trouble with that.
Well, for the viewers, I know they're putting faces to names, but that way they can put names to the ambassadors.
Yeah.
That if they have the ideas to throw
Yeah.
out, you know, these are the people to hit,
Absolutely.
including
Yeah.
Joseph and Sean.
Yeah. I think I'll reshare this
Sean
too as
King.
many times as I can with everybody's links to everybody's names on there, so that everybody knows
Yeah.
to click on it and who to get a hold of.
And then whenever we're all done, I'll go back and I'll edit the description and I'll tag everybody in it, so that way it'll be like quick for you, Brian. That way, all you have to do is just share it.
Awesome. Even better. Yeah.
Yeah, there we go. Good. So Chance Roy, you've been quiet down there, man. What you got like going on?
So
For everything.
I
You got
actually
any, like big ideas that you're
well, what happened with me was I reached out to Country Estates Vinyl, and man, they were down instantly.
Yeah.
They were like, man, who do I pay? Where does the material go? How do I get it there? You know, hit it there and back. So that was pretty exciting to, you know, just to get your first yes. I didn't even receive a no yet, so that was pretty
awesome.
exciting. Yeah. So
Yeah, it's a whole nother beast. That whole how you guys do it with
Right.
your demo. You know, when you guys are building a vinyl fence, wood fence. Without you guys, we would not be able to pull this off, because I know almost nothing. My guys can't build wood fence or vinyl fence for our lives. We could build miles and miles of iron and chain link. Give us 50 feet of vinyl or wood fence, it will screw it up. So I could definitely not pull any of that outdoor stuff off without all of you guys. There is no doubt. It would just be chain link and iron fence. That would be it.
That's what it is.
So Billy, would we be jumping ahead if we started talking about the competition, the fence games? That's going to happen out there? Is that jumping ahead a little bit in the podcast?
No, not at all. We can talk about that.
Well, I'm kind of excited about that
Sir.
too.
No, sir. We can talk about whatever, whenever everybody wants to.
Well, it's a little bit
Well,
different
then,
than the
well,
fence
then I'll
games.
let you
people
lead
are
this
used
off,
to.
Mr. Keith.
Okay, well, it's a little bit different than the fence games that everybody's used to.
Yes.
Those are going to go on. I believe, and Brian can say, they're still going to be indoors, and that's still going to go on. But this is totally different. This is what we decide on. We're calling it the games at demo days, and I think we settled on mainly wood and vinyl. Correct? We're going to do lines of competitions, different teams, so that people can come and show off their skills and maybe win something. I think Sean King was putting a couple of horses up and maybe the new house he built, and I think a super fencer truck, wasn't it? Wasn't he giving away a super fencer truck?
And a motorhome. You didn't see the motorhome?
Oh, that's right. Yes.
Wasn't it the 3.0?
Yes, I believe so. The no
Yeah.
dig, the new
So,
no dig
Yeah,
3.0.
I'm excited about the
I
competition.
think by the way, I think this is where I got to put a disclaimer that we aren't giving away
3.0.
horses, motorhomes, or okay.
And I'm probably still in trouble for even saying that. So. But no, that's going to be exciting. I think that's going to be exciting because people get to show off their skills. I think we're going to build enough around it to have the tools they need.
Yep.
You know, some people are going to want their own tools because some people think they got to have them, and there's nothing wrong with that. And we're going to try to help them get their tools there too. So and we're looking for sponsors for that. But
Let's talk about that real quick. Let's talk about the idea that we've had for like getting people's tools there.
right. So I don't know. It's still kind of an idea that we're building on, but we're looking for for corporate sponsors to maybe ship containers to Vegas with guys' tools in them. Maybe it could be a contest before the contest or something like that, and we can bring sponsors on that will get these guys' tools out there to Vegas so they can use their own tools to give them that advantage that they feel they need over someone else. I'm just kind of building the hype. I don't know why you seem to think if you're good, you need your own tools, especially with all the tools that hopefully is going to be there. But we want you to have every advantage you feel you need. So we are looking, hopefully we're going to build a program for sponsors to get people's gear out there.
Why do I feel like I'm going to go to Las Vegas Fence one morning? There's going to be a big old container blocking my front of my gate.
Whole yard's full.
Probably will. Probably will. It's gonna say.
I don't know. You said we got 20 acres.
Brian,
Right, 20 acres well, I feel like there's going to make some room for some containers if you guys pull that off.
That reminded me what else Mr. Keith said was that if you're, I don't know how you're a good fencer if you can't use the tools that are there. I mean, think of like Fast and Furious, where the guy's like, if you can't find the right tool at this expo, you don't belong near a fence.
We're gonna make that video. I see my next TikTok. I see my next TikTok right there.
Yeah.
you already see it. You already see it. Look at you, Mr. Content Creator.
You just, if you do it, you
I'm gonna mute this right now and do this while I'm talking
But
to you.
hey, oh man, that's great. That's great. But so we're not. So we would love if you would like to bring your entire crew down. All right, but we also understand that that would be fuel expenses, all of that stuff to bring your whole truck. But if you don't have a crew and you would like to join a team, we also have the idea of having different manufacturers sponsor different teams. That way you can work with different people and still compete in the competition if you don't have 3 or 4 guys, say you're a 1 or 2 man band.
What about like the old school days of flag football where you get everybody up there and it's like shirt and skins?
That's basically what we're doing.
Yep.
Yeah, I want you, and I want you. I'll build a fence.
Yep.
Yeah, shirts and skins. There you go. The insurance on that one.
That's what
So
all
again,
our
if,
wives want. There's a bunch of fencers running around with no shirts on. Yeah, see?
Yeah, right.
It is summertime.
Oh,
Where's
man,
the
that's
beer?
hilarious.
Where's the beer?
It's in the tent fence maze, right?
That's right.
I had a guy. I had a cousin.
All I know is if you can't find the right tool at the fence show,
TikTok right there. All right, that's awesome. I love it. I love it. Oh man.
And all I can see for all the corporate sponsors is just huge opportunities everywhere. I mean, y'all need to jump all over this. You could sponsor teams. You could sponsor getting material, having your material there. You can sponsor getting teams' tools there. I just see opportunity. If you're a corporate sponsor and you're listening, you need to be reaching out to Brian or somebody right now and say, I don't want to miss this opportunity.
yeah, Sean King, and
One of us,
sure.
Chance Roy, Adam
Any of-
Sims,
yeah.
Keith Pace, Colby
Right.
Bierman, Billy
Yep.
Grove. We
That's
also
who we're here for.
got Mike Joseph Madison, and then we got Sean King, and then you can always reach out to Corey Gentry as well because I do rely on this man day to day, every single day.
It's like,
So, yeah,
Just don't reach out to my
absolutely.
ex-wife.
So,
Don't reach out to my ex-wife. She'll take your money, but you're not gonna get no sponsorship.
Well, at the end of the day, it is a competition, and a competition draws a crowd. So,
Yep.
it is a really good opportunity for, the higher ups to get out there and sponsor some teams, right?
absolutely, and not just that, but let's say we can even delve into this further, and we can go for the vinyl side. We can say, which product is easier to install. We can have certain
Absolutely.
different vendors out there. Which one does the consensus like to install better? Which one looks better? All of that. Not that we're gonna, give them an F-bomb or anything like that, because we're, trying to make them come to our show. Love you, vendors. But there's also an idea. I'm just spitballing over here.
Yeah.
I mean, how many opportunities will you have that many different vendors or material in one spot, to test?
Right.
Yep.
Absolutely, the vendors, the materials, the tools, there's all that. It's the people. It's the people that are going to be coming from all over.
The
To see the
networking.
very first outdoor, like this is gonna be pimping, man. This is.
Yeah.
I think if you're a vendor and you pass this opportunity up, man, you're missing out. This is gonna be cool. This is gonna be the start of something huge from here. The fence community is not gonna be the same after this.
Yeah.
I think that's
I
safe to
think
say.
I know we have the thing going. We have the thing going Tuesday and Wednesday. I have a strong feeling that I've left the third day open. I have a strong feeling that by the time this whole thing, as the months here continue on, I have a feeling we're going to be stretching this thing on a third day. I just, and that's why we've left that whole thing open, to do that. So I'm hoping as we even see more traction and as we get it more developed, that it just kind of grows. And then this thing grows into a huge event for us, that indoor and outdoor part of it. And, it'll be our own little Woodstock out there,
We're talking 99 or 69.
Brian, do you want to elaborate here on? Do you want to? I don't know if you want to or not. If you want to elaborate on the deal that the booth deals for outside, as I don't know if that's
actually about to hit on that.
Yeah.
I was actually about to hit on that right now. So,
we're encouraging
guys.
Sorry.
If you are, go ahead, Brian.
No, I sorry. Someone was asking me, and then I didn't realize. Sorry. Go ahead.
Okay. So basically, the deal is right now is if you already have an inside booth, we are giving you half off, for an outside booth. Those prices will vary, obviously, on the size of your booth. But if you want any more detailed information, you can get with any of us. You can get with Brian. But that's the deal. So if you have an inside booth, you already get 50% off of your outside booth.
Nice.
Yeah.
And I think if you're trying to do just an inside or an outside booth solely, you're missing out.
Yeah.
You need to they're working it out where you don't have to necessarily staff both of them at the same time. Maybe if they got that third day runoff, there might be a little bit, but they're trying to make it vendor friendly. I feel like at least the first year.
Yep.
But I think if you're like, oh, we're inside, we're just going to stay inside, I think you're missing out. I really do.
I honestly do too.
I have not been in any of y'all's meetings or anything, but I have a question. Has anybody reached out to the people over to over at Expert Stain and Seal?
Yeah.
Are they coming?
They're already going to have a demo day booth, right, Adam?
Yes. So
I reached out to him. I know pretty much all of us reached out to him.
Yeah, me too.
Go ahead.
They are 100% on board, and in fact, part of the games, we're trying to find a good competition that can be applied in the stain realm as well. To show off products and to show off proper applications and things as well that we can apply in that. So we're trying to incorporate not just building the fence, but we know there's going to be a lot of fence built. So why not stain it while it's up, right? And use that as a opportunity as well.
Yeah,
absolutely.
That's just what I was envisioning. Whenever you're talking about all this land over 20 acres, is that you could have, even if there's wind out there, you could have this thing set up on the other side of the lot to where, hey, this is where all the staining and stuff is going on, just where that's where that is, just where.
So that way there's no overspray.
I've never been to Vegas. I don't know what the freaking Vegas weather is like, but just imagine just an open field out there, just.
Oh, dude, you get like a couple 100 gallons of stain going. It's going to be traveling miles.
Cast all over freaking Vegas.
It carries for sure.
Yeah, right. Does your insurance
cover that, anything Brian? Like West Texas, you're going to be rolling it on.
Well, oh yeah, well, and he's gonna have the machines. He'll be rolling the boards, doing
Rolling
the
it?
pre-seeding boards and,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
things through those. So I think, but it will be kind of cool to be able to actually run the sprayers and things like that. So stuff that we just can't do at our normal shows that we haven't been able to do in the past. And some of the, the nail guns, running those nail guns. I mean, doing 100 feet of boards or, things like this, it'll be a whole different experience. And then even testing some of the pounders, I mean, we can actually do some competitions on those and the ground is going to be pretty similar. It'll be interesting to see how that all plays out.
Predict U.S. Hammer is going to win that one.
It's Vegas, so I'm sure we'll have to have some. We'll get one of the casinos to put up some odds on it. And,
There you go. At least in the gas category. So,
What I was Mr. Frederickson that I just had was you're talking about that third day. What if through all the competitions and through all the stuff that's done for the first 2 days, we take all the wood panels and stuff that have been built, and then those are the panels that are stained on day 3?
Yeah, I think it's going to be up to all the demo day ambassadors and all the whole team to tell us if they think they need that third day, and I'm going to support it if we can justify it with and have it like, and kind of what everybody was saying, and Keith was saying, we gotta make this friendly for the first year, for also for the exhibitors, because it's really hard to man one booth, much less two. And if it gets busy and you've got
Two,
you've got all these people inside, at your booth there, sometimes it takes 2-3 people to run a 10x10 booth. If you're really busy. So imagine that times 2. Where do you get? Some companies don't even have 6-8 salespeople. So, I'm sure, so it's maybe rough, but so I think as long as we
just the manpower, some of them, it's hard for them to build 2 booths.
Yep. Yeah. And tear them down, set them up. So hopefully the outside area, we set up an area where in an area system where it's easier to get stuff in and out, because you can drive in, you're driving right up to where it is. And that's going to be a whole different experience for exhibitors to be able to just drive up, drop it off right inside your area, and be able, we're making it to where you don't have literally one booth, packed right next to it. So you can walk all the way around it and things like that. You're not worried about carpet. You're not worried about any of that stuff.
Right.
So it's going to be interesting to see how we pull this off, but I think we will. Everybody's excited about it. And I get more messages about demo days. Even when I'm walking around trying to find people to exhibit at our show, when I'm going to the other shows, even you get some people, they're like, I'm talking to them and they got their phone out. And I go, oh, we're doing demo. And they're like, you're going to have stuff outside? So we can have our equipment outside. All of a sudden they're interested. So I think it's going to be interesting to see the energy that we're going to have out there.
Yeah. I'm excited to see all of the big machines. I'm excited to see every single brand of big machines and how we're going to fence that off and have it to where people can actually get in and test these machines out. I'm excited about that part. That's going to be cool.
Like a bunch of big skid steer races or lifts and stuff like that'd be cool.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I don't know if people know that completely, or not everybody, or I think we should mention it in every podcast that gets talked about. What we mean by demo days is this is not necessarily like some guy from Bobcat demonstrating a Bobcat. Like, this is trying to happen where you can get in the Bobcat and operate the machine yourself. I mean, that was the goal of this, I believe.
Yep.
So for the people that think you're just going to stand around and watch, which you are, or you can, but you can also operate all this equipment. And that's the goal of it. And I think that should be reminded to the viewers every time it's mentioned in a podcast.
Yep. Yeah.
That would definitely help with demo days.
Yeah, as long as the manufacturer allows it, and obviously if there's any equipment that requires any kind of licensing or certification, that's going to be at the whatever the manufacturer decides he wants to do, at their discretion and stuff like that. But I feel like I'm always doing disclaimers, huh?
But that's the goal. That's the goal of demo days, is for the fence guys to be able to try the equipment.
Yeah, use an auger, use the pounders, use if there's a Bobcat out there and the manufacturer is going to let us set up, move stuff around, pick stuff up, and even the attachments on the Bobcat, thing like that. it's going to be fun to get on some of that equipment and use it. You may find out you don't even like that type of joysticks and handles. And even the hopefully the ag guys bring out some of their their remote control equipment where they put remotes on these Bobcats and remotes on all these stuff.
I'm looking for one of those ProTech pounders.
Yeah,
I'm looking for one of those ProTech pounders. I actually sent out a Facebook message to Luke Gibson.
Yep.
He hasn't read it yet, but I was like, "Hey, man, I'm really interested in getting your Ecotech pounder out of demo days." He hasn't read it yet, so I mean, we'll see. But I personally want to play with it. I want to. That thing is awesome.
We were just talking
dude.
to Luke the other day.
I mean, it picks up for you. It puts them down for you. It pounds them for you. All you got to do is walk behind it and play with the joysticks.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. If you ever see one in action,
I am looking forward to actually seeing if he. Go ahead.
Yeah, if you get a chance to go to one of the East Coast Fence Robbery or one of those, it's cool. Are you still there?
Oh yeah, you just got back from one of those the last time I interviewed you, didn't you?
Fall Fence Forum, and then East Coast Fence Robbery. They're pretty cool shows.
Yeah, absolutely. I would love to go to one of those. I would love to see some of those ag guys do their stuff. I really want to see some of the wire tying though, because I am dude, I am super intrigued. I want to know how that is done. They do some beautiful.
I want to learn the correct way to do it.
Go up there. You don't get to watch it. You get to do it.
Yeah.
And like you pull around.
I went to the first two.
That's something not something I really want to offer. What's that, sir?
I went to the first two, and I don't know if it's a timing thing or whatever, but I've been trying to get back to every one since then. They're amazing.
Yeah. These guys are hands-on. They'll teach you how to do those knots, the bicycle handle, and it's a blast if you haven't done it, man. And they are some of the most friendly, open people in our industry that you could possibly imagine. I mean, it's an incredible experience if you get a chance to go to one of those and you're sitting around campfires. I mean, you are just one of the family by the time you're done with one of those.
Right up our alley.
Well, people talk about the networking in the fence industry. Go to the Fall Fence Forum and just check out the networking. It's amazing.
Yeah.
And it's kind of where the fence industry started. I don't know, for a while, those ag guys got forgotten about, and I don't know how or why. That's an amazing group of guys.
Yeah. It was fun. I had a good time going to those. Yeah, both of them that I went to were just it was a lot of the same guys that went to both. So you meet one at the other, and I remember they'll sit down and spend hours with you teaching you how to do ties and how to do the knots and things like that. It's and they see that equipment in action. It's like every time I see one, I feel like these machines came from Mars and they're like drilling holes, because it is when you see one operating for the first time. And it's one guy running one of these machines, and he's building like 1,000 feet of fence a day. And I'm like, I got entire crews that build like 100 a day.
And it's in the middle of nowhere, and I promise you won't regret going.
Yeah.
You will not regret going up there. And he's built that place to where, last time I was there, I think they had 10 RV camper hookups, maybe more than that. It's set up for that show, and it's you won't regret going. If you get a chance to go.
Land your plane, anything, yeah.
Oh yeah, you can land your plane right there.
Isn't that like the land of like we're all airplane pilots?
Yeah. He flies to work every day. I think he lives like I don't know 5 minutes away, and I'm pretty sure he still flies to work every day. And lands in his field.
Is it L.A. Gibson or is it
Luke Gibson? Yeah, Luke Gibson.
Yeah, he goes by L.A. Gibson on Facebook.
Yeah. Okay, I know. I remember. I recognize that name.
Yeah.
I've seen his wife Leslie in Nashville. It's good to see her.
Non-ambassador.
There we go.
Hey, would you guys mind if I ask a non-ambassador question for Mr. Adam Sims?
Go ahead.
Yeah, what you got?
Mr. Adam Sims, this kind of goes into the podcast. Yeah, this kind of goes into our normal podcast question style. Style. You mentioned earlier that you are now 100% no dig. How
Yes.
is that working for you? And what styles of no dig are you doing? Are you doing like the Kings Plus? Are you doing Postmasters? Are you doing galvanized pipe with brackets? What all you got going on?
So we transitioned to 100% no dig for a few reasons. One was that we were not happy with the wood. We are in a pressure treated pine market down here. That's basically all that we have to install. Cedar is not something that we have readily available in our region, and so pressure treated is what we have to work with. Because of that, how the history that pressure treated has and the stigma that comes with it, and it's gotten worse. And so that was our main focus, was our post. We were getting lots of callbacks with movements and warping and it not lasting as long. So we transitioned to the Postmasters that we were driving at the time. And then Sean showed up with the iPost, and we jumped on board with those for the aluminum. That was kind of like our missing piece to the puzzle. It has worked out really well for us. The biggest challenge.
Phenomenal. I'm sorry to interrupt.
Say it one more time.
I love the
so it's-
iPosts. They're phenomenal. I'm sorry to interrupt you.
No, you're
Go
good. Yeah, they're great. They're great. So we love that we don't have to carry the 80-pound bags of concrete anymore. We're no longer digging holes and making messes. We can put posts that we would never be able to put them, that an auger would never be able to dig, right? So we can go right up against pool decks. We can go right through the middle of the woods. We're not too concerned about roots. Rocks, we might hit those, but we'll hit those if we're digging either also. So a lot of those concerns that we've had have been addressed.
Right.
Mhm.
And so we have a very small vinyl market here, so we don't do a lot of vinyl. But we currently use the Postmasters for our wood fence, everything from privacy down to 4-rail. We drive all our chain link, obviously. We use the iPost currently for our aluminum, and even with our steel, we will drive our steel as well. And then for the vinyl, we do the pipe and donuts. So we do it all. There's not a fence. The only
Nice.
fence that we can't do is like a French Gothic, post that's required by various HOAs. And if we have to, then we'll bring in a contractor and let them dig those.
Oh, that's got the. It's
I got a
got the
quick
custom
question
routing
about
and
the
stuff.
steel.
I got you. I was just kind of curious because we did.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. Okay. We're pretty much 90% no dig now. And on our steel, I haven't done it because I'm afraid it'll mess up the coating on the post. Have you run across that? The driver.
Yeah, so we actually have in the past, we just have gotten a shorter steel post, and then we'll drive the round pipe and then sleeve it with the steel, similar to what we do with our aluminum. A lot of the advantages that we find to the aluminum is the adjustability, the repairability, if something happens to it, we can adjust it and correct it and get our grade changes by that sleeved process. And so we've been transitioning that into our steel as well. It's just, and at the same time, it streamlines my processes for our guys. We've got a lot of younger guys that are new to the industry that doesn't have that history of doing traditional dig and set. And so we can plug them right in and get them going. And I'm trying to streamline a lot of our installation process so it matches across the board as much as possible, if that makes sense.
That's what we're doing. And I've done the aluminum. We're not in an aluminum market. That's my problem. And I did aluminum in Indiana at Mr. Fence Academy. in March Madness last year. So I am a little familiar with that, but, and for anyone that like, is any questions to you, like, how did you switch to no dig? One of mine that I get a lot is the customers. We just don't say anything. I mean, I core a fence just like everybody else, and we just show up and pound it. And, you know, on occasion, someone will say something about concrete, and then we try to educate the consumer. But we just don't. We just do it. You know, we don't. Everybody says, "Well, how do you transition?" We just done it. I mean, we're 90% no dig. So.
I tried it, and I mean, we don't do residential, so obviously that's more on the residential side. But we did it around. We do it on some chain link. The most we can drive is a 1 5/8 full weight post, and we 45 the ends, and then we have to use big pneumatic equipment. The gas powered ones don't get it down hard enough here. Yeah. But one of them, man, we have contractors boards we deal with and the licensing and all this stuff. So I did it around this one, and I ended up in front of the contractors board, and it was just a big pain in the butt to justify it. And it was, I ended up winning, but that's only because the property owner didn't show up to one of the meetings. But and I think that's where they lose me when everybody starts talking about the no dig and all this, is we need to be more clear. It's a good fit for my area if I'm in this area and this area. But I think that the reason I have a hard time supporting those generic things when people say, hey, this is the way to go, this is the way we go. Well, we could get people in trouble by not making it clear that, hey, you may, if you pulled a permit and they want footing inspections and they want this, I live in an area where it takes 3 to 6 months sometimes to get a permit for the very same fence we're talking about driving that down in, and they want to do a footing inspection, on ours. Yeah. So we got to dig the holes, call it in, and they want to look at the footings, and then we do a final inspection after that, and they come out and do it. And we have a contractors board with a disciplinary board where it's like a courtroom, not like it is a courtroom where they got a district attorney in there, and you'll stand in front of them, and this $3,000 job, you could $10,000, $12,000 in penalties, and you might have to rip it out and redo it. So we got to be, it's a whole different ball game where, when, like, even in Nevada, I can't just go and pound all the posts everywhere I want. I don't, and this is where the restrictions you get when everybody says, oh, I wish I had license, I wish I had all that. We cannot innovate at all. I don't care if there's a better idea. You know how you guys have the freedom of saying, hey, no, I'm going to do this.
Not
and I'm
at
going to use this kind of nail.
Right.
Yeah, you can't do it here. So that's where the no dig stuff becomes difficult for me to get. And it's a lot of work to try to get the building departments to allow us to do it.
So I've been building fence 35 years, and this was, so I'm an old school guy. Yeah. So this was easy for me because I'm open to that. And there's areas that you can do it, and there's areas that you cannot. And there's areas that you're going to have to do both. Yeah. But I believe for someone where I think people are, I hate to use this word, but where I think people are stupid is not giving it the opportunity that it deserves. You should try it.
Look,
I'm old school. Right. I dug a lot of holes. I started building fence in the Carolinas, and we also drove a lot of posts. I've been building fence 35 years. I've probably drove, not completely, but I've drove posts for 30 years of it. Yeah. I drove posts from Virginia to Florida on the East Coast.
Yeah.
But I believe where you mess up and where people mess up is not giving it the opportunity for advancement that it deserves.
We need it. We need to innovate our industry. We need to innovate our industry. But like I said, if we're not careful, your hands get slapped and tied by regulations.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? In your area. So, it's really tough to innovate, especially in Nevada. I fight it. Of course, I'm an innovator.
Educate, innovate or educate, because you'll lose your whole business running around to HOAs and presenting this, and you just can't hit them all. You can't do it all. But we need to get in front of architects and engineers, because really they do know that you can over-engineer a post underground. And most of them would be willing to listen.
Absolutely.
But
Yeah.
I flipped the job. We just did our first King Plus. In fact, I'll be perfectly honest with you. I think I lost my butt on. We did our first commercial King Plus, and I went and talked to him. It had plans, it had details, it had specs, and I went and talked to him and flipped the whole thing. And a job that in somebody's backyard would have took me 2 days, took us 5 days.
Yeah.
We hit, some of it was through concrete, and we drilled through it, hit rebar. It was a nightmare. We still finally made it through it, and we still drove posts to 4 foot deep. And but we just spent too long on it because of unforeseen circumstances that are commonplace on commercial jobs. I should have known. We went in there and all that concrete was going to be slap full of rebar.
Yeah.
I know that.
It's just for us, any change outside of the normal adds a month to the permit process. And it's just, and I think that's where you see it getting tougher and tougher is we want to do all that. We drive a lot of posts, but we drive them for chain link fences and vacant lots and, and things like that. But where it's not going to matter. But we did that on one, and then somebody came along and put windscreen on it after the fact, and then we get 80-mile-an-hour wind, and then the fence, even though it bent at the ground, they ended up filing a complaint to the contractor's board saying that we didn't pour concrete around it, and then it was just months of, you know what I mean, your time, and our time is worth so much money. Where I'm like, and the customer didn't care; they would have paid the extra money to set it. And now I'm dealing with all the contractors' claims,
even though it would have bent over if it was concreted.
It wouldn't have mattered because they bent at the ground, and the ground was so hard. We could pound them down 16 inches here, and it's the same.
It doesn't matter if it's
down 3 feet.
Driven, if it's gonna.
Yeah, so it was just. I tell people all the time. I think it's stronger because we use a full weight post instead of a tubing post, and that full weight post pounded in the ground is stronger than a 16 gauge post that's set in concrete. Because that's my argument all the time with them. I'm like, hey, I'm going to drive the post, but I'm going to use a heavier, like a 20 weight or a 40 weight post, and it's still going to power the strength. The weakness is at the ground where it's going to bend. So you're going to end up with a stronger fence without the concrete. I tell them all the time, and that's how we end up pitching it to the drive in the post, because we have to have a full weight post or we can't pound it down, and we can't use the gas powered ones out here. So I'm jealous that you guys got all the gas powered stuff.
We have our pneumatic Rhino for backup, but
yeah. I still use that same Rhino that I've had for 20 some years. I bought that inline oiler with it when I bought it 20 years ago. The inline oilers you put with the pneumatic one, and that same one has been running for 20 years, if you can believe it.
So the two things that I've had the more investment in over the past year, we've been doing it. Was overcoming the mindset like you were talking about, Brian, of we're not in Nevada, we're not in Florida, we're not in Canada. We have to understand what works for our region and what applies. So the national standard doesn't apply as equally to everyone, and a national standard has to apply evenly across the board. So getting out of that locked in mindset of national standards and looking more regionally. And just like you said, it may not work everywhere. It works great for us and our Georgia red clay and the little bit of veins of rock that we get here and there. But we would have that same problem either way. The second thing that's been a challenge is the education just as a whole into the industry and into our market. And anytime you present a new product or a new way of doing something, you have to explain and teach and educate how it works and the benefits of it. And it takes a lot as far as an investment, but for our guys and for our situation, it works out really well for us, and it's been extremely successful for us.
Yeah, and I like that you said that, because the only data out there, like when I was arguing with the contractors board about it, defending myself, the only data out there was showing that you go 2/3 of the length of the post or whatever was out there, and we only went down 2 feet, but 2 feet took 15 minutes a post, with the pneumatic Rhino at a full weight post. So whether you wouldn't, and then we hit Caliche or something. So the only argument, and that's what they pulled up. They pulled up all the data from around the country, and they're like, well, this post should have been down 3 feet. And I'm like, well, Yeah, in certain areas, but in Nevada, it didn't need to go down 3 feet.
Right.
But the problem is we don't have any data to back that up. All we have is the generic data for the entire country.
Right.
So I
See,
think,
here
yeah,
in
if we could figure out how to
gotta
get
go
some
4.5
regional
we go
stuff,
4.5 feet.
then that would be huge. You could say, hey, this fits our area and this fits our area. So I'd like to see more people saying, I'm in this state and this is what, this is a good fit for our area. And by the way, we don't have to pull permits. We don't have to get footing inspections. We don't, that's the stuff that has to be taught. Because if you get somebody that just got a license in one state that requires all this, we could also get that guy in trouble by saying this is how you should do it because he's not following the local codes and what how they're building fence around the area.
Well, I mean, that's that where that disclosure comes in. Yeah, that's where that's honestly though, man, you can't take somebody else's fault for not doing the homework of where they live. I mean, there has to be a certain point where it is that owner's duty to know what the laws and the rules are in that certain municipality and in those certain city and like zoning. Like absolutely no. The no dig has its place, and I believe that a lot for at least for the residential side, it is the future of fencing. Just because you need less stuff, it's in and out in half the time, and I mean it's a great upsell. It's a phenomenal upsell. I mean, I think I've already sold $90,000 this year for Postmaster installs. And it sells itself if you know how to word it. And
I like what Seth said there.
You talk about different regions, different areas. Here in Northwest Florida, we have to go to.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
We have to
go ahead, Keith. What'd you say? You like what Seth said?
Sorry.
Agreeing to agree in a professional manner is best.
Well, my problem is, or not my problem, my mindset to this is it ain't about agreeing or disagreeing. You see people that say, oh, that won't work here. How do you know? You hadn't tried. And I'm not telling people go out and buy a $4,000 post driver for it not to work. Look at what we're doing in the industry. And the post driver companies, Titan, Rhino, US Hammer, they're all out here. They're out here with us in social media, the way we are growing as an industry. I'm not saying go out and buy a 4,000 pound driver.
The only reason we're not pounding.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, right here. The only reason we're not pounding is because we haven't given it a hands-on shot. Things change. Innovation is good. So absolutely, Mr. Seth, show up for demo days because you're going to be able to get hands-on on every type of driver, every type of postmaster of driving pipe, of I-beams, of hell, I'm sure we can even get the cattle guys out there. We'll be driving T-posts as well too. So absolutely get to Vegas if you want to get hands on, learn some more about the no dig. And you're right, it may not work in your area, but I'm telling you, if you give it an honest shot and you do the research, and it's going to be a try. That's the thing. It's going to be a trial and error.
There's a little learning curve to it.
Absolutely. And like, for instance, for like the companies that went 100% no dig, there's a hellacious learning curve on it. Absolutely. From times, and it may not work great for you, but I'm going to tell you what, if you give it its due diligence, you put the time to know the numbers, you put the time to learn, to train your team, a no dig system can absolutely has its place as a top tier install.
Brian, I'd love to send you the video of me trying to pull out a Postmaster with our Bobcat MT100.
It's on our Facebook page.
Like it's on our Facebook page. I literally today, I pulled out a 12-inch wide by 42-inch wide footing that was belted out at the bottom at 54 inches wide with 7 bags of 80-pound concrete.
Dude, that's so much concrete on those damn posts.
I pulled that out easier with my Bobcat, like MT100, than I did the driven post.
Yep.
And I am not even lying. Like, I pulled it out easier one try, and I destroyed this Postmaster. And I had to get it up on its tippy toes and drop it halfway down just to get the Postmaster out.
Yeah.
Hey, Brian,
no, I think a post at 2 foot in the ground, drove in the ground in Nevada, is stronger than one in concrete. I will testify to that. any day. Like I was telling you earlier,
Absolutely.
it's a stronger fence if we
Absolutely.
drive a post in the ground here. In fact, US Hammer came over to my yard before the last show. It was when they were talking to him. They drove a T-post in my yard in the asphalt, and it's still there. I couldn't get it out. So it's still, and it was like right next to where I parked my truck. So I just had to move. I repainted the line and moved my truck parking spot over a little bit, and the T-post is still there. In fact, right now, I think we're gonna have to cut it off with a grinder and hit it with a sledgehammer to get it down below the asphalt.
Well, one thing that I was saying is if you come to demo days, I promise
That sounds like
these guys are in the industry. I would almost bet you would not have a hard time getting US Hammer or Sean King or Rhino to come to your area and drive post in your conditions before you spent, $4,000 on a driver.
Yeah.
I believe the way our industry is growing, that can happen.
Yeah.
And I believe, it would start at demo days. Come to demo days, talk to these driver manufacturers. I believe they want to come out to your area and drive some post. I really believe they do.
I just want them to come out to my yard and get that post out of my driveway. That's all I want. I'm only doing the next show so I can get that post out of my driveway.
Just get your US Hammer out and drive it on down to the ground. Take the handles off and drive it on down and just leave it there. Just drive it underground.
I will say that it was a nerve-wracking move to jump to the no dig because of that initial investment of that few $1,000s in a driver. In our area when we started, we're still I think there might be 2 of us in Metro Atlanta that still are doing it, but there was no drivers nearby to go rent, right? It was all or nothing. We somewhat jumped in. We were able to go down to Florida and meet with Mark Olson and buy one of his used drivers to kind of lessen the hit. But it still was a multi-$1,000 investment that is not an easy thing to make, especially for smaller companies that don't have the capital. However, even like somebody, I think the guy before Seth had said that, you can rent a driver, but you still need the adapters. There's a barrier to entry that needs to be gapped. But if you can find somebody in your area like us in Atlanta, if you want to reach out to me, I'd be happy to come out and demonstrate and let you use our unit and kind of feel it out and see if it's something that you even think you would even consider before you go making that jump into it. Give us a holler. I know other companies like Keith, probably you're the same way. You'd be happy to have somebody come out and just get a feel.
same way.
Absolutely.
Give us a shout. We are all for. I run the No Dig Facebook page. That's something that we started to not only grow the idea to learn, because again we were brand new into it ourselves back then.
I'm sorry, I probably post too much crazy stuff on there.
But at the end, this realm, the no dig realm of the industry is for residential. I understand ag guys, y'all have been doing this for decades and y'all are the godfathers of no dig, and we have got a lot to learn. But for the residential version of it that we're discussing here today, it is a very quickly changing industry. Even just in the wood, you've got the big players might be the Postmasters versus King Plus currently. And then you've got the old round pipe with the wood to steel adapters. Aluminum, you've got round pipe with the donuts versus the I-post versus everything else. And so there's a lot to learn and a lot to test and use. And but I think most of us that are getting into it, that have jumped in with both feet and have made that investment, are also more than happy to help anybody else that wants to consider it as well.
And it's the future. I mean, you might as well face it. It's the future of our industry, just like it's really and truly the history of our industry with the ag guys.
I'm going to go out before anybody gets there. And I'm going to go down about 6 inches. I'm going to pour a sheet of concrete where everybody's going to be found close, and then cover it back up with dirt. And I'm just going to let the cameras roll. And I'm just going to let the cameras roll and watch all of these guys just sit up here going, why won't it go down?
That's what he's not telling us. On this 20 acres, it used to be an Amazon warehouse.
It's an
And there's
asphalt.
really concrete under there, and they just put some dirt on top.
That's it.
Oh, I
It's
don't
the
know.
old runway, and they just topsoiled over the top of it.
There was a casino there at one time, and so,
It's the same. You know what? Ironic. I know they dug it up because it's the same place where they did the American Ninja. Do you see American Ninja Warriors?
Yeah.
Or whatever
Yeah.
it was in Las Vegas.
Warrior,
It's the same
yeah.
field.
yeah, that's
It's
cool.
the same place. Where I got videos of it all dug up. So
That's
unless
awesome.
they did something after that, I don't know.
I do want to throw out there, I don't know how long this podcast lasts. This is pretty good, hour and a half, but I believe in the King Plus, and we're going to have a King Plus training. I think
Done.
I get to grace this podcast next week too, talking about our training on King Plus coming up in March.
You
Uh,
do. You do.
So
You do. We're
It's
going to
going to
talk
be a
all
good
about
time.
that.
So I believe in it, and I believe it works, and I believe it's the future.
Yeah, we've got another company, Wiggly Fence, up in
Absolutely is.
Tennessee that
Mr.
comes
Bryan, one
down.
thing before we close it
It's tough with 6 people in it, isn't it?
But he comes down to help us on our larger projects, and he's a believer of the
No, I
King
know.
Plus.
Yeah.
We just haven't gotten around to trying it. Honestly, we
Yeah.
haven't tested it yet. So we do the Postmasters currently, but I'm definitely intrigued and want to give it a shot one day.
Well, we did Postmasters, and then we got to where we couldn't get them, and I was like, and that, just like I'm a firm believer in the shark hinge. If you do wood and you don't know what a shark hinge is, it's an amazing hinge, but there's issues in getting it. I don't know if they still have the issues because we've adapted another system. We didn't have no choice.
Sharkians? I feel like you just made that up.
Yep.
Sharkians.
Shark hinge. Hinge.
Oh, hinge.
Shark hinge.
Okay.
All right,
If you do a lot
guys.
of wood, it's an amazing hinge, but
We
Mr. Pace there. Yep.
we are going to wrap this up for the night because I'm ready to eat dinner.
Likewise.
Yeah.
4 a.m.
Yeah.
Mr. Frederickson, one thing while I got you, I'm not sure what day, but this is going to be my first show, and my first fence show is going to be the show in Vegas. And I
Yeah.
heard you talk about cigars.
Yep.
I'm claiming 30 minutes of your time at some point at one night. You and I are gonna have a cigar time. A cigar with you.
Yep. Yeah, that's a deal. We found a couple cigar bars around there that we're going to try to partner with a little bit on this. So I'm a big cigar guy. So you got a date, man. You got a date. We are in.
Do it.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, I'm going to appreciate you guys for coming on
Awesome.
and like talking about demo days, and we're gonna do this again because we need to get the word out and we need to get as many vendors and as many sponsors as we can to make this thing awesome for everybody. Thank you, Mr. Bryan. Thank you, Colby.
Yes,
Thank you,
sir.
Chance. Thank you, Adam. Thank you, Mr. Keith. Keith, we will see you next week. And other than that, y'all have a wonderful rest of your Tuesday night. All right.
Guys, y'all take care. Thanks
Appreciate you.
Thanks, guys.
thank you for having us.
Thank you, everybody.
Later, guys.
Mr. Bryan. He gone. And he gone. Bye.
That was fun.
That was a few moments of intensity right there.
That was intense, huh?
Right.
That was intense. We were dealing with
There's a lag somewhere.
we're dealing with our lag and we're dealing with other
Um,
people's lags right now.
Why are we on one bar of Wi-Fi? It's right outside that wall.
I have no idea. But we're gonna upgrade that.
Here.
But hey guys, thank you for Mr. Fence Academy for sponsoring like this episode of the podcast.
Absolutely.
If you guys want to watch and follow us and listen and follow us, you can check out gatekeeperpodcast.com.
Like us on Facebook, all the outlets, Facebook, YouTube. We're on Apple iTunes as well.
iTunes, anywhere that you can find a podcast, basically anywhere that you can find a podcast. Like as far as social media, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube.
There it is.
Gatekeeper Podcast. Oh, that's the Gatekeepers. There we go. Gatekeeperpodcast.com right there. You can go right there and you can find us everywhere.
So help a couple Polo boys from Pensacola, Florida grow the podcast of the future. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for another awesome night. We had fun. We hope you had fun. And we will see you next Tuesday at 7:15.
Ooh, I like that.
Smooth.
That's smooth, baby.
Let's go home. I'm tired.
Let's go home, baby.
Thank you.